Hi everyone, welcome to another video. This time I'm going to be drawing some outfits. I've been practicing clothing a lot lately. I thought it was a good idea to share this process with you and maybe talk about how I approach drawing clothing, which is something I used to struggle a lot, and I'm not an expert yet. I still find many obstacles that I have to tackle, but it's all about practice. Sometimes I've been using reference and sometimes not. For example, in this illustration I use this picture that I found as reference for her outfit, or for example this illustration I based on this outfit, but I had fun with it and I changed everything. In this video in particular I used reference for every character that you're seeing here, but I changed the colors, the body type, and the hair, the outfit in general. It's the same except for the colors and the patterns. In these illustrations I use my Copic markers. I will specify at the end every color that I use for each character. I use my Copic multiliner in brown and my Copic multiliner SB, and I also used my fine Posca markers in light blue and white, and also my Prismacolor called Erase pencils in brown, black, vermilion and carmine red. And of course I used my render paper. This paper is great. Some people don't like it and some people do. I personally love it. So I like to start by doing the body first, even if I'm going to cover some curves later or some details later. It doesn't matter. I prefer to have the body shape and everything made first. That way I can draw the clothing in a way that it just flows better. Yeah, I am aware my sketches look really scary and really creepy. They look like aliens, aliens with feet in the shape of shoes, apparently. I don't know, it looks really funny, I know. I'm starting here with the first one. I always feel kind of bad when I erase too much, and I have to remind myself that it's okay to erase, and eventually I will start erasing less and less with practice and time and patience. But yeah, I do erase a lot, especially when I draw clothing like this, when it's, baggy, because it's really different when you draw tight clothing. I am avoiding that because I really want to improve the way that I draw clothing. I want it to seem organic in the sense that it goes with my style. I wasn't able to do this kind of clothing before. It's best to practice things one by one. I mean, you should dedicate some weeks to anatomy itself and maybe some days to hair, some days to clothing, some days to proportions and everything. If you try to improve practice everything at once, which you could do of course, but personally I think it could get really overwhelming. By the way, I'm not saying that this is the best way to draw clothing or this is a tutorial or anything. I just wanted to talk about a little bit about what I've been doing this week. If you don't really know which clothing to draw, as I said, you can use Pinterest or Tumblr to look for clothes that you enjoy and draw it, and eventually you can start drawing your own clothes. That's what I usually do. I usually just think about what clothes I want to draw and then I do. And here I'm showing how I'm going to line this one. I'm going to line this one first, and then the other ones I'm just going to keep doing the sketches before I do anything else. I used the Copic multiliner in SB in black for the eyes, and then I lined the rest of her with my brown Copic liner. drawing clothes from reference can be a really good way of studying the clothes and learning how it falls over the body and how it folds and everything. Here I'm doing the second girl. This one in particular is my favorite. I really love the sketch, but the process when I colored her was not very good. You will see later, but yeah. So this girl and the last one, are a good example of how I created the body and then all those shapes just got lost. Doing baggy clothes is really tricky, or at least it used to be for me, and it is sometimes still. You are gonna lose many shapes that you create at first if you do it the way that I do it, of course. Drawing baggy clothes and making sure you still have like the right shapes can be really tricky. It took me a long time to make things look right when I drew baggy clothes, but honestly the only way to learn is by paying attention when you practice, either if it is from real life or from a master copy or from a picture reference. When doing baggy clothes, you don't have to follow the shape of the body specifically. For example, in this part, I'm not going to follow exactly the shape of her torso and her breast. Instead, I'm following the direction of the shape of her breast, and I also know that I'm going to tuck her sweater into her pants. So I'm going to imagine how the fabric is going to be placed when it's tucked into her bottom. Don't fall into the temptation of adding way too much detail, and remember that less is more. And also try to make everything dynamic. With time you will eventually learn what works and what doesn't, and you will learn how to make effective lines that are just going to make everything come together. A way to make things more dynamic is by thinking in shapes and keeping in mind that everything could be composed by shapes. And this can be a little bit confusing, I know. I'm not saying that you should make some pants in the shape of a square, but I'm saying that you could train your mind to approach things in a different way. For example, if a character cross their arms, you're going to think that in real life it looks in a particular way, and the jacket can have many wrinkles and many folds and everything, but you have to appreciate thinking it's a depiction of what you're trying to illustrate. So you don't have to make it exactly the same, unless of course you're doing realism, but in this more cartoonish or stylized illustration, it's better to make things simple. So if a character is crossing their arms, you maybe could approach it by doing the shapes really round and just forgetting about all those folds and everything, just doing a couple. And it's tricky to know where and how, but with time and practice you could do that, and master studies are a really good way to learn how other artists approach this problem, but at the same time you gotta learn how to do it by your own. Another thing I try to keep in mind is the pose and how the clothes is going to flow with that pose. For example, the jacket in this girl is flowing in a direction like she's walking. Well, you can see better than I can describe it. I also try to make sure you can perceive the anatomy of the character, and I mean its original shape after I draw baggy clothes on it, by accentuating a particular part of their body. For example, for the second girl with the long jacket, I am showing her legs, and for the third girl with the beret, her waist is you can see the shape of her waist because of her pants. And yeah, of course it depends on your particular style or the way that you like to do things, and this is again just the personal way I do clothes, and it isn't really the best or the right way. And yeah, I think everyone has just their own way to approach things, and that's really, really great. And that's what makes everything really fun. And I just hope that this video was helpful for any one of you, and that it made at least a little bit of sense. And I'm just a firm believer that practice is what is going to help you achieve anything. Yeah, people have been asking me a lot about making a tutorial on proportions and anatomy, and you might think that I am really good, and thank you, but I don't think I am in the position of doing a tutorial about the proportions. I still have a long way to go because anatomy is the hardest thing. By the way, particularly my bright blue marker started reacting really weird. And yes, this happened and everything went downhill from there. If someone knows why this happened, let me know. It just happened out of nowhere. It started bleeding and dripping. I know it's really weird. Anyway, I fixed it with a Posca marker. It doesn't look terrible, but it just doesn't look as great. I also eventually changed the color of her hair because it just was bothering me against the rest of the colors. I think it just didn't go so well. And yeah, as I was saying, just remember that at the end of the day, the answer is always practice. Practice and patience. Because everything that is going to be good, it's going to take time. And then my camera stopped recording. So yeah, what I did afterwards, after I colored all the girls, is that I added the textures with my Prismacolor color erase pencils. I really like how they all came out, and I'm really enjoying these bright colors, particularly like warm bright colors. I think you might have realized already, and they are from the Copic manga set that I got last month, or no, it's already been 2 months, back in Chile. As you remember, I said that I wanted to try new colors, that I wanted to push myself and use colors that I wouldn't usually use, because if you look at my previous work or videos, you can tell that I used to do a lot of pastels and things like that, and now I'm really enjoying bright, really in your face colors. So thank you so much for being here today and for watching. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I try to make videos every week, and thank you so much, and I hope that this video was helpful for any one of you, and let me know what you would like to see. And also, I'm thinking about making a Q&A again, and so if you have any questions for me, just leave it in the comments. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye.